Texas. From KRIS Studios, this is KRIS News at Sunrise in HD.
Good Wednesday morning to you. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Janine Reyes.
I'm Dave Freilich. We're here with meteorologist Matthew Hune. A little system has passed through our area.
Yeah.
Some parents are stressing out about a shortage in medication for ADHD. It's a problem all across the country, including right here in the Coastal Bend. And as our Melissa Schroeder found out, the reason for the shortage may surprise you. Dr. Reed says the Obama administration is investigating the shortage problem. In the meantime, the best thing to do is contact your pharmacy and let them know ahead of time what supplies you'll need so they can be ready. Republican voters in 3 states opted for the underdog candidate last night.
And this creates some questions about the strength of the perceived frontrunner. Susan McGinnis brings us the latest from Washington.
Today, the TSA will be expanding pre-screening security to additional airports. Homeland Security Secretary Janet Napolitano will be making that announcement this morning at Reagan National Airport. The TSA's risk-based pre-screening security concept targets suspicious individuals, also allows some passengers to volunteer for pre-screening so they can potentially move through security more quickly. It's currently in use at 7 airports. All right, let's head over to meteorologist Matt Trahune with a look at the forecast. Matt,
thanks. A Sinton woman is undergoing a mental evaluation after leading authorities on a high-speed chase across 2 counties.
It started in Sinton when officers tried serving a woman with a mental detention warrant. Officers say that woman jumped into a truck and took off. Deputies chased her into Corpus Christi, and once she got onto Shoreline, she drove straight into oncoming traffic. That woman was eventually stopped at Ocean and Elizabeth. That's some cell phone video you're looking at right there, taken from a man who works at Spawn Shoreline. We're told the woman got out of the truck and ran toward the towers but never made it in the building. Police arrested her, and officers say they found a loaded gun in her truck and another weapon without ammunition. The woman was taken to Northwest Regional Hospital. It's not known whether she'll face any charges. Students and teachers at Ben Bolt Middle School are probably hoping today is a little bit less eventful than yesterday. Tuesday, the school spent several hours on lockdown after a Border Patrol chase ended near the campus. We're told 5 suspects bailed out of that truck you're looking at right there after it crashed into a fence while being chased by the Border Patrol. Agents quickly arrested the driver and a woman in the truck with him, but 3 other men who'd been in the truck ran into the field and weren't caught until noon. One woman we spoke to said her daughter was safe at the school. Cole Park's undergoing a $2 million renovation, and this morning the first phase is complete.
Armia Gordon has a look at the new and improved Kids Place.
Here are a few more details on those changes. The city is working on shaded areas where people can sit and avoid the hot summer sun that's coming, as well as pet stations. They'll be equipped with bags so people can pick up after their pets. A new irrigation system and more trees will also be added throughout the park, and improvements are being made to the lighting and bathrooms at the amphitheater. All those changes expected to be complete in late spring. I think we've talked about it quite a bit, certainly on this show, the great divide in this country and the world between people who love cats and people who hate them. Brings up the question, some people are asking, what if all the cats, the house cats in the world, just died off, weren't around anymore? Now that would break my heart.
It would.
Because guys like my boy here, Mr. Cookie, at my house, wouldn't be around.
Is that your Mr. Cookie?
That's Mr. Cookie. That's Fur Boy right there.
Okay.
But if all these cats died out, even if you don't like them, they did a study, and this is an old one, back in 1997 in Great Britain. They found the average house cat brought home more than 11 dead animals in the course of 6 months. That meant the 9 million cats in Britain at that time were collectively killing close to 200 million wild specimens per year, most of them mice. If these cats weren't around, mice would be overrunning things. Certain types of birds, in New Zealand, a study back about 30 years ago found that when cats were nearly eradicated from that island, the local rat population nearly and quickly quadrupled. Now, for the record, Mr. Cookie wouldn't get a rat if his life depended on it. And he never leaves the house. But other cats are out there working for
Maybe
you.
if he were allowed to leave the house, he'd bring back some fine specimens for you.
Yeah, he seems to be more interested in grass when he leaves the house. And that's a segue, actually. I didn't realize that.
It kind of is, about a young woman in New York who was selling some brownies at school. She made about $250. Problem is, turned out those brownies were laced with marijuana.
Oh.
Yeah. She sold.
Did they still taste good?
Matt had about 4
they found
before he realized.
They found at least 20 students chowing down on these.
I bet.
One mom was quite angry, actually said that her son didn't know about it. Some of the kids they're saying did know. These are 8th graders, so it's kind of hard to tell. No one got sick or visited the school nurse, but they did get buzzed there at the school.
Everybody was happy, huh?
Yeah, put a little Grateful Dead on the PA system. And
yeah. One student says, how come nobody noticed these kids were high? So it went undetected for a little while. they're going to still determine what happens to this young woman who was trying to be an entrepreneur, I guess.
Yeah, you know, there's some lines you don't cross there, I suppose. Well, how about the weather today? A little bit cooler.
That's right. Well, I don't know about cooler, but yeah, we had a high. Yeah, we had a high around 66 yesterday. But
work with me.
So temperatures, temperatures about the same.
Campers were free to set up shop along Leopard Street. That's where we find our Dave Freilich. Dave, how's it looking out there?
Well, yeah, it's looking pretty good. We're here at Leopard and Kennedy, pretty close to the start of the parade route, and there's not too many people out here yet, but some of the ones who are, they're not setting up, they're set up. You see this, the deal we got going in here. The chairs are already in place. We got the seats, we got the food out. We're right by the restroom. That's very important. So they're good to go. The tent is obviously up. So here we are at 5 o'clock. They're done, ready for a parade that's going to start tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. By my math, 27 hours to fill. You ask, how are you going to fill all that time? They tell us they'll be cooking out obviously a lot, also playing games with the kids, watching a lot of the cars that'll come by in the day before the parade, and just spending time together as a family. One thing many of them say they won't be doing is spending too much time with some of those modern devices that seem to make killing time a little bit easier.
Come out here, we try to make it a family thing, so everybody usually leaves their phones in the vehicles and stuff like that. Try to make it more family orientated instead of out here with the iPods, the phones and stuff like that.
So certainly spending killing time out here, not an issue at all. In fact, to be honest, the people we talked to today said they would have been spending even more time out here if they had been allowed to. Guys?
Dave, it looks like you're having a good time out there, and I know traditionally some people usually do some barbecues out there, so maybe while you're out there you can catch a barbecue. But in the meantime, with the people you've talked to, how long have they said that they have actually been out there?
Well, again, not as much or not as long as they had in years past, but the ones we talked to earlier said they've been out since 10 in the morning. And we did talk to somebody who said they'd been here since 5. Of course, 5 p.m. is the time you're supposed to be here. They said they'd been here since 5 a.m. So they've been putting in the hours for sure, guys.